Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising Spiritual Connection reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Service. I am Lauren. Welcome. So everything here on my channel and on my website is here to engage you with the Triad of Engagement, which is demonstrating how by working with three very simple principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, you can step back into feeling fully engaged and feeling in flow with the unique energetic imprint of your life. Additionally, all content is here to start you on the process of answering your very own I am question so that you can re-engage with life in a more authentic, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling way. If you'd like to learn more about the Triad of Engagement, I have two video links in the description box below, and they help to show how working with these three basic principles can help liberate you from the very frustrating feelings of fear and anxiety, detachment, and can re-engage you with the feelings of place and purpose, meaning and fulfillment. All right, Cancer, let's jump right into your reading. So this is your spiritual connection reading. What does that mean? That means that we are taking a look at the connection between your unique individual spiritual self and your external environment, and what that engagement and connection currently looks like. And we will also, in addition to that, take a look at any points of fear or anxiety or areas that are preventing you from basically taking your authentic, unique self and engaging it with your external environment so that you can fulfill the role you are specifically needed to fulfill, so that you can get your own sense of place and purpose and meaning, but that you're also being of service to the greater collective experience. All right, Cancer, let's take a look at what energy you are sitting with right now. All right, what are all my lovely Cancers? What's the energy you're sitting with right now? Now, I'm a Cancer rising, so I love the Cancer energy. I'm partial to it, but I love the energy of Cancer in general. So when we think about Cancer as a sign, Cancer is the cardinal water sign. So you really are strong in your emotions, Cancer. You tend to be able to act from a place of emotional awareness. And you're a cardinal sign, so you are really meant to be a leader in all things attributed to water signs, which are, again, working with your emotions, being connected to your intuition and directly through your intuition through spirit, and then also being able to be strong in your emotions so that you can take action from that place, that seat of emotional awareness. All right, what energy? Oh, Cancer. Okay, so the energy that you're sitting with right now is the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups is an energy of, it can be an energy of regret. It's this energy of looking at kind of crying over spilled milk. So in this image, we have a individual taking a look at 3 cups on the ground that have spilled their contents, and he seems to be kind of mourning the loss of them while not taking advantage of the 2 full cups that he has behind him. And so this really brings out this element of focusing so much on what has been lost. Now, cups actually represent emotions in the tarot, so this is really focusing on a part of your strength and natural abilities here, which is focusing on and utilizing your emotions. But it looks like right now you are really focused on either going through the process of mourning past relationships and kind of emotional failures and hurts that didn't work before moving into a fulfilling connection with your cup in a cup to share with another, or you're sitting with the energy of simply just regret, of being so consumed with what has been lost, with the people who have not supported you on an emotional level, with the people who have hurt you, with failed relationships, that you're kind of oblivious now to what the universe is trying to bring into you, which are the two full cups. And the two full cups, the actual two of cups in the tarot, denotes equal partnership. It's you sharing your cup, which is actually your cup of divine connection to spiritual source and the unconditional love and fulfillment that comes from that, and being able to share that with another. So it's really being able to find fulfillment. It's recognition that fulfillment comes from within, not from without. And then being able to find another who can meet you equally with their own full cup coming from the same place. So let's see what your external environment, let's see the energy of your external environment and see what and why you're being asked to bring forward this energy into your external environment now. What is going to show you about yourself, teach you about your own specific place and purpose, and really what you're being asked to step into in the external environment to start to really fulfill that role that you're meant, that only you can fill. So we have the Empress. Beautiful energy. Very different than this energy. So the Empress is a major arcana card in the tarot, and it denotes our ability to create for ourselves basically whatever we want. It is the element of being able to take from our environment and to give birth to our own abundance. It is a card that represents the signs of Taurus and Libra and Venus in the tarot. And so there is this very feminine quality to the energy that this card brings, and it's a very receptive energy. And what I'm seeing here with you is that there's this element of sitting with regret, kind of almost, again, crying over spilled milk that can't be changed. Facing the past instead of facing the personal power that you have to create the relationships that you want, that are fulfilling, create the abundance that you're looking for, and to come from this place of true receptivity, of being able to take what the universe is bringing into you and perhaps releasing what the universe has taken away from you. That we tend to focus on this, and we tend to bring this into a place of blame of, these cups have been spilled, and somehow it's on us that either we are responsible for spilling them, or we're so emotionally tied to them that we're still trying to figure out how to unspill them, how to scoop that liquid back up into the cups and turn them upright. And the truth is, we can't change the past. We can't do that. The only thing that we can change is our perspective of it, and being able to understand that sometimes things are taken away from us so that we can actually move towards what's healthy for us, what will actually support us in being able to be receptive, or being able to actually create our own abundance and environment. And in order to do that, we have to stay receptive. We have to stay in that feminine energy of receptivity for what comes in, for what the divine and destiny brings in, and how then we choose to take action towards our perspective of that we always have our seat of free will and control to be able to see what comes in that's outside of our control and be able to react, choose how we react towards that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull some cards to show some points of fear or areas of challenge that are preventing you from being able to connect. Basically being able, I think right now, to connect this energy that you're sitting with your external environment, being able to step into this more Two of Cups energy where you're receptive and open and vulnerable to others, and being able to then see your own creative ability in your external environment. And what I call this area here, I call this the void. If you'd like to learn more about the void, you can click on the first Triad of Engagement video link in the description box below. It's the one that's labeled a visual look. So the void is really what we create ourselves. It is a protective barrier that we kind of dig for ourselves step by step as we move from childhood into adulthood. It's built from a place of all those times that you attempted to connect your authentic, unique, vulnerable self to your external environment and did not receive a positive response. So this would be bringing out a part of yourself and being ridiculed for it, or attempting to work with one of your own unique abilities and failing at your first try in engaging that with the external environment. And instead of having the perspective that your external environment is a classroom, classroom of direct experience, we instead tend to not really be taught that. And we end up basically trying to hide that part of ourselves, saying, you know what, it failed, and then it failed for a reason. And so I don't want to bring that part of myself back out. I don't want to feel that failure again. I don't want to feel the sadness and the fear. And so we make these. Okay, let's see here. So many cards. Oh my goodness. All right. But I'm going to take them all because I feel like these are all very important. Okay. And so then what happens is, so we build all of these layers. We build this void to protect ourselves from engaging all of these authentic aspects of ourselves in a vulnerable way so that we don't get hurt again. And this can be detrimental to us because this is where we block ourselves off from engaging on an emotional level with our external environment. If we're constantly hiding parts of ourselves from our direct experience in our external environment, we are no longer emotionally connected to it. We're just going through the motions. We're just working at a job that doesn't emotionally connect on any level to our own personal sense of value and self-worth. We are not being able to work with our own gifts. And in return, our external environment doesn't reflect who we are as a unique individual. And this is where frustration comes in. This is where we wonder why people in our external environment don't see us for the person we know we are. It's where we get annoyed by the fact that our external environment isn't a reflection of what we want, of what we feel we need to be emotionally fulfilled. And so what this is meant to show is areas where you are blocking yourself off, a fear point, a challenge, and what you're being asked to meet and overcome to be able to step into this power, to be able to realize this part of yourself, so that you can step forward as yourself and be of service to the greater collective human experience, because each one of us has something very specific to bring. We are each unique singularities. We only will ever be able to live our life, and each one of our lives is special and unique for a reason. All right, so Cancer, taking a look at your first card. So actually the cards that came out, we have the Hermit, we have Justice, the Princess of Pentacles, which in this deck is the Page of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. We have Six of Wands, we have Queen of Cups, Ace of Swords, and King of Pentacles. Okay, so the Hermit. This is basically your fear point right here. The Hermit is a card of Virgo, which in the zodiac is a sign that is associated with being actually the healer of the zodiac, which is a beautiful concept when you think of that. But the Hermit itself is a representation of showing that we can take the time to go within, and that we don't have to have the light of others to be able to shine our own light, that we have within us the light of our own star. Now, the star is its own card in the major arcana in the tarot, which denotes hope. It is our own unique guiding star, and it is what gives us hope to continue on our path. It is our guiding kind of North Star, and it's different for each person. And the Hermit really, in its depiction here, shows up by going within and realizing that that star is always within you, that is what we are meant to, each individually, to be guided by. Not that we are meant to be looking externally for things to tell us the next steps, or looking for others to radiate their light towards us and illuminate something. It's on us to illuminate our path forward, and to illuminate our own meaning from the inside out. And that's where, when I talk about true awareness, starts with self-awareness. Once you're aware of yourself, suddenly your perspective of everything changes, because you're seeing it now through the lens of you, of awareness of how you interact, your reactions, your choices, your abilities, your needs. And that's exactly what we're all called to do. Now, the next card that we have here is Justice. And Justice is the card of ultimate divine balance. It's a card that's ruled by the sign of Libra in the tarot, and it denotes an element as well of the true blind quality of justice, that we might not see or understand why something's happening, but ultimately there is this element of intelligent design, and it will be balanced out. So we may not see why something has happened, or, maybe one of those things of, why does this always happen to me? These people never get their just desserts. But in reality, it is being balanced out. In reality, what we don't see is the reason why that person was there to hurt us was so that we would turn away from them to turn towards what's meant for us, what's meant to be supportive. So there can be this element here sometimes, a little bit of this friction of knowing, being confident in your own self-awareness, of your own star, of being able to sit quietly with yourself. So what's very interesting about these two, when I see these two cards together, this person is turned away and his head is down, and this person has their eyes closed and is kind of also in a similar stance of just kind of going within and meditating. Now, one is meditating on what's been lost, what's been taken away, and one is meditating on what's been given, of what one always has to tap into, what one has the ability to expand and illuminate from. So it's a very different, it's a juxtaposition of energy. But coming in with the Justice card, there's this quality of understanding what gives you hope, and coming up kind of almost like headbutting, like boom, with Justice, where perhaps you see what gives you hope, you see what again is your guiding star, and as you start to self-illuminate, you start to see things that you feel are injustice, that are not balanced. And this can kind of hinder our perspective of our external environment, and that we can get hung up then on focusing on trying to right those injustices, or to look at how unfair something is, how we get caught up in well, if this is my truth and this is the way I see things, and I'm illuminating this part, this is my guiding star, but I keep seeing that it's being derailed by something external or by other people. This is so unfair. This is so unjust. And this is where we get stuck in this energy of not having faith that there is an intelligent design. Not having faith, too, that justice is truly blind. Well, where we may see an injustice may actually be being righted somewhere else, but we just don't have the perspective to understand or see it. And we have to have faith that it is being corrected, that all things will balance out. Because then we step into the Princess of Pentacles, and the Princess of Pentacles is the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles is an element of going out and working with something in the tangible world from almost like a childlike, innocent quality of working with this kind of fresh start, this new seed, and wanting to gather more information, knowing that we don't know everything about this new thing that we have, and being able to be okay with that. Being able to realize sometimes we have to go back to a beginner's mindset. That we may have this wise part of ourselves, this knowledge within ourselves, this self-illumination, and we may be able to, through that, see injustice in the world or see areas of imbalance. But we have to come from a place of a beginner's mindset when we're looking at this, not from a place of, well, I know everything. And so instead of sitting with kind of this awe and wonder of working with something new in the tangible world, of being ready to connect with others from this place of like, almost like innocent information gathering, to be able to see kind of, what is fair and what is unfair. That when we come in without trying to fight that energy, that's also can be a blocking point. That can be a point where we're not willing to go back and be open to other perspectives. Be open to that true, the highest quality of justice, which is that, again, everything is within balance. Every wrong will be righted. But that there's also a black for every white and a light for every darkness. And so there is this kind of quality of we find the light within the darkness of ourself. And that is the true justice, that we kind of have to walk through the darkness to be able to recognize the light. And I think that's what you're being asked to do right here, is to really brave this time of going within, to, instead of looking at things as unfair, step into the highest version of justice, which is realizing that everything happens for a reason, and that you have to go through dark periods to be able to see the light periods and to enjoy them, and vice versa. But for you right now, with all the positives coming on this side, you guys are stepping into the light. And so it's about going into the darkness, seeing your own light, having faith in divine justice, to move forward with a beginner's mindset towards being able to take what little bit of this fresh start that you have and be able to, so being receptive to it, being this kind of innocent, open beginner's mindset of a child, and then taking that and creating what you'd like to see in your external environment. Now, the Six of Wands is a card of recognition. It's a card of being recognized for your hard work and taking action from a place of passion. So there is this element of wanting to be recognized for something, wanting to be recognized for taking action from a place of passion. And I think coming into so this is kind of your last final challenge or hurdle before going in and engaging on this new level with new faith in the light, in you being able to be supported by others, is stepping into your own energy. The Queen of Cups is a card of Cancer. It's a card of understanding that we always hold our own cups. So the Queen of Cups holds her cup, which is her union with the divine, with the spirit, And it's her cup of ultimate emotional fulfillment. And it's what she gains strength from, that she can stay steady in even the rockiest of environments because she knows what's in her cup. And her cup is always full. And it's this awareness, this clarity that your cup is full. Your cup is always full. What fills your cup is unique to you. But it's the awareness of that. It's the awareness of what is in your cup. It's the awareness of what brings you emotional fulfillment. It's the awareness of going through the darkness to see the light that provides you with the clarity of, this is what ultimately brings me that emotional fulfillment. Aha, this is my truth. This is where my power lies. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which denotes actually being able to be a master manifester. The King of Pentacles is someone who has the ability to manifest financial abundance for themselves, to be able to step into a place of, just like the Empress, a place of true creating and manifesting in the tangible world. But where this aha comes from is that you become this by honoring this within yourself, by honoring what fills your cup, not looking at what fills other people's cups, not getting into this element of what's not fair and what's been taken from you, because ultimately your cup can never be taken from you. You will always have that cup. And in this scenario, you actually have an additional cup to be shared with another. So not only is it is fair, it's more than fair. It's not that life is not fair and things are happening to you, it's that things are happening for you. It's that change of perspective and realizing that nothing can take your cup from you. Nothing can take the love, the unconditional love from the divine. But once you know what fills your cup, once you know what lights your internal flame, once you are illuminated from the inside out and realize, this is actually what I want to be recognized for, this is actually what makes me feel happy, well, that clarity is then going to allow you to step into the energy of being able to manifest that abundance for yourself, because you'll know where to and how to place your energy to become abundant. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull cards down here for the Triad of Engagement. And the Triad of Engagement is going to take a look at curiosity, courage, and contemplation. And I'm going to pull a card for each, and we're going to talk about how this is going to help you navigate across the void to be able to step into this place of personal power in your external environment. So, first card is for curiosity, and curiosity engages us with the sense of optimistic receptivity towards our external environment. It's where we begin to build the bridge over the void of fear and anxiety, disappointment, and frustration, and where we start to once again look at the external environment with the fresh eyes of a child, of what if life really isn't unfair? What if it's truly fair, and if this wasn't meant for me, then what is meant for me? That's the change in perspective. So when we're working with curiosity, we're working with being able to step into a place of control and power by understanding that at any given point, we have the freedom to ultimately change our perspective of both the past, the present, and looking forward into the future. And this is how we go from being totally disengaged from our external environment and starting to become receptive to it again, to start to be able to pick up on possibilities and start to see them as opportunities. I call this building the bridge. And we build the bridge over the void, not to wipe out the void, because ultimately all feelings and cancers, you're going to know this best because you understand what working with what the importance behind working with and being strong in your emotions is that there are no good and bad emotions. All emotions serve a purpose. So it's not about eradicating fear and anxiety and frustration. It's about understanding how to learn from those, that we can build a bridge of curiosity and look down and say, okay, I can see that fear point. It's almost like being able to look down into the moat, the water, and being able to see all of these moments in your life and to be able to say, okay, I'm going to look at frustration now. And I'm going to take a look and see what happened. And now I'm going to move across. I'm going to, stay on this bridge but move across. And I'm going to see, again, the lesson to be learned from that moment of frustration. So we don't want to eradicate or take a look and say these are negative or bad emotions. They're just emotions that prevent us from feeling emotionally fulfilled. And so that's why we want to learn how to go around them, but not to get rid of them, if that makes sense. All right, Cancer. So for curiosity, we have woman holding a coin, number 42, breaking down to a 6. Beautiful. Great card for you, Cancer, especially when we're looking at tapping into this feminine receptive energy. And here we have the King of Pentacles, which is really kind of the masculine version of this card, which is being able to externally work instead of internally receive to create. He's externally pushing to create. And then we have woman holding a coin, which is kind of bringing these two energies together. There's this quality of this card in this deck of a strong feminine energy, of blending the masculine and the feminine together, that you can receive, but you can also take action and utilize, you're basically being able to create your own wealth in the financial environment. She's holding her pentacle, her coin here. So I think with being curious, it's about really stepping into this place of being open now, being reopen from a place of optimism and not pessimism from what's happened before, what you see as unfair, and step into this place of, okay, if the power lies within me to create for myself what I want, then what is it? By building this bridge, what am I going to be able to have at my what am I trying to say? Sorry guys, I don't know why I'm having such a problem speaking today. At my disposal to be able to utilize to create what I am now becoming emotionally aware of within myself. And so that's really where we can become, again, open instead of closed. Instead of saying, it's just gonna end up being another failure. If I go into this partnership again and be vulnerable, it's just going to bring me nothing again but, the unfair consequences of me trying to shine my light and nothing happening. Instead, realizing, well, I'm being asked right now to step out and into this energy. And I'm being asked to do so in recognition of what Spirit is actually trying to give me to help me learn how to be receptive. So maybe I need to see now, by doing so, what I'm going to have at my disposal to start building my abundance. And now I'm going to pull a card for courage. Now, courage is where we start to take movement. It's action. It's our seat of personal control and power, because this is where we get a chance to have the courage to make the decisions, to take the action towards walking across the bridge and engaging ourselves with our external environment. So it's not enough to build the bridge. We can't just stand here on this side and okay, I've built the bridge, come to me. Destiny doesn't work that way. That's where we can kind of get stuck in this waiting or almost fantasy-like energy. Instead, you actually have to walk across and take action to engage yourself with destiny. So we have two here. We have surrender your addictions, and it says whether you're addicted to substances, food, people, sex, or overworking. Take action to begin to heal the addiction and replace it with healthier alternatives. And then it says surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. Absolutely beautiful. Now, some people can be triggered by surrender your addictions. People can say, well, I don't have addictions. I'm not addicted to food or to drugs or drinking. But when we're thinking about the element of addiction can even mean being addicted to seeing yourself as the victim. Being addicted to constantly ignoring the actual help and the supportive relationships you have around you and always looking at what's wrong, what's unfair. And that can be just as strong as an addiction to a substance. And so I think here with the cards that are coming out, I mean, yes, you could literally have an addiction to something that you need to release, but I look at this more as releasing this viewpoint of things always happen to me instead of for me. Or there's an element of something that's unfair, that's other things happen to other people in beneficial ways, but they don't happen to me. And now if you are working with a true addiction, that is something outside of just being kind of addicted to the victim's mentality, victim's mindset, this is asking you to understand that your own personal power comes from within for you to create, and that in order for you to understand what is within your cup and what fills your cup, you can't use an external crutch to do that, like sex or eating too much or overworking to the point where you never have the time to tap into actual reflection time to understand what lights your own flame from the inside. So it's kind of a card of saying you need to break your ties, have the courage to surrender ties to the external environment, be it either a viewpoint that your external environment is out to get you, or be it that something within your external environment is somehow going to fill your cup, when in reality it's you that fills your cup from your connection to the divine. And then the surrender to soul's path. Beautiful. Again, it says your life's journey has been perfectly designed for you, or for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And I think that this is really highlighting you are on your path, and sometimes we forget that it isn't about the outcome. That is not living life. Living life is the journey. We are always on a journey until the day that we unfortunately die, which will happen to all of us. But the journey, we have to enjoy the journey. We have to take a look at our lives not as, it's not fair because the outcome wasn't what I was expecting. We have to look at it instead and say, well, this part of the journey got a little bumpy, but now I've got to pick this up and go back and cross the bridge and see what's, over here. It's like a kingdom and a castle. It's almost like changing that perspective of, I have to work towards gaining a home and having the 2.5 children and being seen on a certain level by other people. And if I don't have that, then I'm somehow being robbed by the divine from having what I'm owed. And in reality, each person's path is completely different. So this is about, again, that clarity that comes with realizing it's whatever emotionally fulfills you. It's not about comparisons to others. It's not about what the outside world can bring into you. It's not about the recognition from others. It's about what fills your cup. That's ultimately going to lead to your ability to create financial abundance for yourself, to be able to step into this true, archetype of being able to give birth to your reality, not the reality of somebody else or the reality of what society says is correct or reality of what you think somebody else in your life wants to put on you. It's the reality, it's the powers within you. And realize that if you can start to look at your life as a journey, not a destination, well, this is when we kind of get into that whole, when you think of like a college student backpacking through Europe, the excitement and the fun is in the journey, is in what they learn about themselves as they travel to new places, they meet new people, they're unlocking new parts about their unique individual spiritual selves. And there is no true agenda. They might say like, okay, I'm going to go through 4 different countries, but how I do that might change based on the people I meet. And maybe the people I meet decide to cue me into going here instead. And that's what the experience needs to be. And then I miss my train and it gets a little hairy over here. And for a minute, I have to learn about how well I can handle myself under pressure. But then I realize that as I'm doing that, somebody else steps in to help me and I get a chance to go see this instead. And that's how our lives are. They're one continuous, unbroken backpacking trip through unknown, uncharted territory. And when we can start to understand that, we can start to understand every day as a part of that adventure. And I think that this is what's going to start to help you see and give you courage to go across this bridge to connect with this very powerful part of yourself, to realize that life is an adventure. It's not a destination, and it's not about, well, I got to the destination and it wasn't what I wanted or it didn't work out. It's that, no, this is just a part of the trip. There's a lot more to go. So take the lessons learned and realize you're on your path. So keep working with it. All right, so now I'm going to pull a card for contemplation. And contemplation is the final principle of the Triad of Engagement, because it's your ticket back across the bridge. It's what allows you to then move from your external environment where you've taken action and there are results that have ensued from those actions and decisions. And now you get a chance to walk back to a place where you get to quietly sit with yourself and contemplate and reflect on, and actually also take responsibility for the consequences of your actions and decisions with engagement as you've engaged with your external environment. So this is really where we can continue to self-educate, learn about ourselves, grow, and be able to make full use of what I call the external classroom. It's learning through direct experience. So we have yes, just say yes, and we have share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. Beautiful. I love just say yes, because there's this element of, kind of going back to the metaphor of your life's journey as like a backpacking student, going through Europe. That student is going to just say yes when you think about it. They're going to have that beginner's mindset of like, yeah, if these cool people I meet are like, hey, we're traveling to this city instead, you want to come? Heck yeah, you're going to want to go. And that's kind of, I think, the energy of what really you're being asked to step into, is this excitement again around your ability to shape your own life. And when we think of contemplation, I think this is a great point to really think back to yourself. How much do you actually say yes to things that authentically fulfill you? How often do you say yes to things that fulfill your needs? Or are you saying yes to things that don't? Which then, in turn, every time you say yes to something that doesn't emotionally connect with you, that doesn't bring out some element of your unique individuality, it's basically saying no to yourself. And here it says, share your voice, come out of the cave, persecution, expression. In contemplating on this quality, where are you afraid to share your voice? Where are you afraid possibly to even step up to speak from a place of what you see as injustice? But also, where are you afraid? Where have you not been expressing yourself? Where have you been afraid to connect on an emotional level with others through self-expression? And this is a great point to contemplate as you engage with your external environment, where you've been holding yourself back, where you haven't been sharing your voice from a place of authenticity, where perhaps you've been feeling like you have to hide a part of yourself. And maybe that's where this element of injustice comes from, because you know what lights you up. You know what's your guiding star. But maybe you feel it's an unjust world because you can't express it, you can't share it, you can't have this part of yourself recognized. And now it's about realizing, well, maybe it's because you haven't been actually doing anything with it. You haven't been sharing it with anybody. And now it's saying it's time. It's time, because once you do that, you're going to reconnect with what emotionally fulfills you, with what's in your own cup, to gain the clarity to be able to understand how to capitalize on it. All right, Cancer, I'm going to pull a few more cards here to get some more clarity on your energy and your the energy of your external environment. So let's see. Any additional messages? So we have the Three of Coins. Beautiful. And the Nine of Cups. Oh, I love it. Okay, and for the Empress, we have Seven of Cups. And let's see, what else here? Anything else for the Empress? Any additional messages? Oh, beautiful. So talking about the Star and the Chariot. Okay, we'll get into those in a second. So over here we have Three of Coins and the Nine of Cups. So beautiful. Three of Coins is the card of building. It's the first kind of learning to build with others in the tangible world, in your physical environment. And I think coupled with the Nine of Cups is a card of being one step away, one cup away from your true rainbows and butterflies, ultimate emotional fulfillment. And so the Nine of Cups is this element of kind of sitting with this, being happy on an emotional level, being proud of what you have achieved, what you have around you, and being able to then kind of make a wish to the universe of what's that one additional thing that would make all of this seem like it is just your heart's true dream desire. It's like your heart's fantasy. And so there's this element of realizing as you move out into the external environment that you're going to start to gain clarity on how you can build this, your ultimate 10 of Cups with others. That again, you don't live on an island. You do have to connect. And that sometimes it's us being vulnerable with another. As long as we understand what's in our cup, that we can then start to build basically our legacy. This is the first step in being able to start to see your way forward and what you want to build for yourself. It's starting on the journey of the King of Pentacles, but again, working with others. As you can see, you can barely see, I'm sure it's hard to see, but there's other people's hands here. So beautiful energy as far as being able to really understand that you can, by building with others, by allowing yourself to be vulnerable and open to the relationships that are being brought in for you, you can utilize those to get closer to this true ultimate heart's desire. because then over here in your external environment, you have the Seven of Cups. Now the Seven of Cups is one of those cards that kind of denotes an element of illusion, of thinking that there's so many opportunities, so many options for emotional fulfillment out there that you almost become overwhelmed. And it's where we lose sight of the fact that we always only have our one cup at any given time. And so really we can have many options at our disposal, which is great. I mean, Seven of Cups can actually be a card of lots of possibilities, a time of options, which is wonderful. But where this can kind of trip us up is where we get kind of lost in, well, what if I choose the wrong cup? What if I go for this cup and it doesn't emotionally fulfill my cup? It doesn't make me happy. And then we get into this place of indecision and we stop taking action. And we stop connecting to our own authenticity. We stop realizing what's actually in our cup and we get stuck in the illusion. And what this is saying is that as you bring yourself into authentic alignment and engagement with your external environment, you're going to see your star recognized. And you're going to remember that this is your star. This is your star. This is what you're working towards. This is what ultimately fills your cup. Not all of this illusion of all of these other options. There's only one for you. And ultimately, that can be any of these. As long as you know what's in your cup, you can find emotional fulfillment from any choice you make. But as long as you are making it from a place of personal awareness, making it from a place of understanding your own voice, and what actually, when you think about it, when you feel into it, what makes you feel emotionally fulfilled, you can always bring that to any decision you make. And then we have the Chariot, which is also your card, Cancer. So this reading holds a lot of your own energy here. And the Chariot is about moving forward. You're the charioteer. You're the driver of the chariot. You get to take your star, illuminate your way forward, and move towards your ultimate vision of what home is to you. And that's beautiful. This shows so much movement, so much clarity. But you are going to have to get out of this kind of it's not fair victim's mindset. I don't want to be vulnerable and open with another again. I think your biggest point here of disconnection is that you're too afraid to connect your authentic self, to realize that there are lots of people around you who need, and it could even be strangers. It could be people that as you're starting to come out and to engage, that people are kind of coming out of the woodworks saying, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that part of yourself. I've been looking for somebody to engage on this level with. And then that is what's going to unlock and be able to really show you your star, to free it from being within to you being able to work with it without, to use it as a guiding principle to get your life back into gear, to start directing your life back towards what you want, to have a little bit more fun in the journey. That maybe now you're not just walking around with that backpack through Europe. Maybe now you got yourself a cool fancy Ferrari because you're in Italy and you met a really cool person who was like, hey, like, I have a Ferrari and I really want to go test drive it through Europe. And now all of a sudden you're finding yourself driving a little faster on that journey, driving a little bit more towards your true star of hope, your guiding star. All right, Cancer, I hope this has been illuminating. I really do hope you harness and step into this power of self-awareness to unlock the Empress within you. I look forward to your next reading. And if you'd like to book a personal reading or a one-on-one spiritual coaching session, the links to my website are in the description box below. Bye, Cancer.